Look around the room. I always say that to them. Look around the room. This program is challenging. You will not see all of the people in this room today come time for graduation. I said it to them. They all looked at me. Everybody, the same group every time says, oh, no, we're going to make it. And we actually hope every time that they do make it, quite frankly. We don't set them up to fail. We set them up to succeed. But this program isn't easy. So while you may see just a few, these folks have persevered. They've weathered the storm. They've built themselves up. And I just want to give them a round of applause because we're so proud that they were able to get through the program. Before I start, I just want to introduce just a few people before the wonderful staff. But Councilor Carlone, if you just stand, thank you for supporting this program and supporting us. Councilor Carlone. Councilor Siddiqui. I think this may be her first graduation. I'm not sure. But I want to just say hello to her, as well as Councilor Alana Mallon, who's over there as well. So we're here today to celebrate these graduates. And I just want to say just a little bit about the program. I think sometimes as you do this, you think that everybody knows about the program. So essentially, we have a very, very, very competitive process in which these applicants have to go through to become part of the program. We understand that people have different challenges and that people come to us in different spaces in their life. We try to allow them to see their talents. We try to build them up where they need help. We try to get them to understand independently that we believe in them. We also have a program that helps, hopefully, to move them along into a better space so that they can be ready to be gainfully employed in the private sector, understanding that we're always here for their support. I think one of the things that we always see in different groups is that group dynamic starts to play into the kind of conversation about 2 or 3 weeks, and everybody comes in, they're all dressed up. I don't know you, maybe I do. But by week 3, you'd think that they were all at Camp Kalamoki together for 2 weeks. And it's because there's a lot of commonalities that they have, and their challenges, although different, they're very much the same, that they realize that they have to do something to change their lives for themselves and their families. So I'm just so glad to be here with them, celebrating them. And as you know, the best part of this show will be when they get up and tell their own story about their own journey. So I just want to bring up Assistant City Manager Ellen Seminoff to say a few words to the graduates. Thank you.
Good morning. And I want to say I'm thrilled to be standing here able to speak to you, but my boss, the city manager, Louis D. Pasquale, couldn't be here this morning. At the last minute, he actually had to attend a funeral. And he is incredibly sorry not to be here because he tells me that this is one of his favorite events of the year. And so he hopes for another opportunity to meet you, but he wanted me to let you know that he wouldn't have missed this for anything that he could, if he could have been here. So I want to ask you to do one thing. Would you stand up for a minute, the graduates, and just turn around and look at the people who are here? You're going to end up doing it from here, but take a look first at all the people who are here. Just take a quick look. So as you get nervous, getting ready to come up here, know that every single one of the people who are sitting here are here to root for you. So it's okay to be nervous, but know that you are standing, when you stand up here, in a group of people who are so excited for you and who are wishing for you the best. And as Richard said, the fact that the 5 of you are here today when so many other people didn't make it is really a testament to how hard you have worked and how much you have persevered despite all the things that may have gone wrong along the way. So you have demonstrated already that you have what it takes to keep moving. And the other thing that I'd want to say to you is, like everybody, you will face more challenges going forward. I wish I could say you've made it, don't worry. We all know that's not true. But the people who went before you, and this is the 21st graduation for Cambridge Works. The staff have been doing this for 10 years, and you have lots of graduates who went before you, many of whom are now really headed off and successfully pursuing their career. But there's really one thing that I hope you'll hold on to when you leave today. I hope everything goes right. But if it doesn't, if somewhere along the line you hit a bump, come back. Stay in touch with the staff here. The people who succeed, it isn't always a straight line. You may not. Some of you have a job already. Some of you are still looking for those jobs. It may happen that you lose a job. It may happen that something else is a bump for you along the way. The thing that you can do and that I can promise you is if you come back, if you stay in touch with the staff who have worked with you, we can help you and you can help yourself keep moving forward. So don't get embarrassed. Don't stay away because you wish you hadn't done something. Please, please, please. We want every success for you and we expect it, but come back because the staff will always be here for you and will want very much to be able to celebrate with you when things go well and support you if they don't. Last thing I want to say is the city councilors who are sitting here today, Councilor Carlone's been on the city council for the longest, and he never misses this graduation. He talks about it in front of the city council. He really has celebrated the successes and the program all along. And Councilor Siddiqui and Councilor Mallon are newer, but they have been here. Last year, Councilor Mallon had her sick daughter sitting next to her in the chair because she wasn't going to miss the graduation of the group before you. So I just want to say there's an enormous amount of support from the elected officials and from all the staff who are here today. So congratulations, and thank you for all of your hard work.
As you know, much of our success is due to the partnerships that we have in and out of the city. Those partnerships help to place our participants in what we call internships, but it's real work experience in their department. So I just want to have Mike Marullo come up and tell you a little bit about the partners and recognize them.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to talk about our partnerships with the work sites and, of course, our wonderful supervisors. They are the mentors of the program. They are the role models and leaders of our program. Our participants at the work sites over 30 hours a week. So that is the centerpiece of our program, is the work site. Along with that, of course, we have class, professional development class and case management meetings and daily contacts. So there are a lot of obligations that have to be met by our participants. But the one most important is the 30-plus hours a week they have to be at this work site. And that's when we are so pleased and grateful to our supervisors who take the time to be those role models, to be those leaders, to show the way to our participants. I would like to name our supervisors now. We do have a few that are with us, and I want you to understand this is a very busy time. One of our supervisors never stops working, Mike. He never stops. That's a role model. T, get off your phone. So I wanted to just name our supervisors and recognize them today. Over at Cambridge Brands, Diana White and Lisa Velez, and Lisa is here today. Lisa, if you could stand up, please. A very busy business at this time. Thank you for coming.
Also a Cambridge resident and a Ringe graduate.
Cambridge resident, Ringe graduate. And, sorry, I put my glasses on because I always... German Graham at the Clover Food Lab. He is not here today, but a wonderful supervisor. I can't tell you the great worksite visits we have with German. Always takes the time to talk to us about our participants. Rita Chapadolin and Katya Terrelson from the Mount Auburn Hospital. And the always wonderful Val Harris-Aline from the Mount Auburn Hospital. Val is with us today. Val, if you could stand up and say hello. Great supervisor. Thank you, Val. David Cohen at Spalding Hospital, Cambridge, and Mike Proltz from New England Development. Mike is in the back right here, was just working for us. Mike, thank you. So as I said, this is a busy time, yet they're here. They're always supportive of our participants. Without the partnership of our work sites, we don't have much of a program, and we appreciate your efforts and your commitment and the partnership that we have with you. Thank you. The second part that I would like to say is for all of you that are here in the office, that are in this graduation today, I want you to think about anybody you may know that's a Cambridge resident, 18 to 35. And by the way, our Office of Workforce Development has multiple programs, so really anybody you know, period, that's a Cambridge resident. But for our program specifically, Cambridge Works, 18 to 35, that lives in Cambridge, that may be struggling to find work, that may be struggling to keep work, we want to talk to them, okay? You can have them. Gabriel Mondone is our intake specialist. He's not here today. He's visiting the Ivory Coast. But there's a full staff here. One of us, two of us, three of us are always in the office. Send them down to 51 Inman Street. Ask for Gabe, Michelle, Tyrone, and myself, Allison, Susan, anybody. And we want to talk to them. We'll be starting up our next program in March, Cycle 22. We would love to have your referral be one of our graduates from Cycle 22. So please, please keep that in mind, and thank you very much.
Thank you. A couple other partners I just want to recognize would be our partners in the Office of Workforce Development who help support our participants. If you could just, I'm getting looked at by George, if you just raise your hand or stand, whatever, what would you rather do? If you could just raise your hand, I think it's that little back row, just to say hello to all of us. Yep, there you go, George, Susan. So round of applause for them. Josh in the back. They help us with mock interviews, help us, finding other job opportunities in tandem with Tyrone and Mike. It's just a real atmosphere of support over there. And Susan Mintz, who's been elevated to greater heights, has also been instrumental in guiding us through this process from the beginning to the end. So we just want to make sure that we recognize our other partners in human services. And last but not least, I just want to recognize what I consider the dream team, Tyrone, Michael, Michelle. I'm the sub, I come off the bench, but I just want to recognize them for all the work and dedication that they do with our participants and hope that we can give them a round of applause. They're much too humble for the impact that they have on the city of Cambridge, so I just want to give them a round of applause. Before we move into the slideshow, I just want to give you a little flavor of what these participants have to go through. So they have to figure out for themselves that they now want to do what they can and maybe get some help from someone else to change their lives. So this is an independent decision that they have to make from wherever they sit in life. They then have to come in, fill out an application, usually brought by Russell or Salvin from the Margaret Fuller and other partners. But then they have to figure out that they are now going to enter a whole different space in where we're going to have to be there, and they're going to have to trust us to really take them on this journey. So I'll just give you a little bit of flavor of what they have to do. So they have to interview with usually 3 to 5 people in a room, and they don't know all of this before they do it. It's just like, come for the interview at 3 o'clock, and then you show up and open the door, and there's not even a seat for you sometimes. Like, you have to get a seat because there's so many interviewers. But 5 people interviewing you, so just imagine that. So you have 5 people interviewing you, you don't really know this. Then you have to go through some of the other stuff, just paperwork. And then when you do get selected, which, by the way, it's very competitive, so everybody doesn't get in, you now have an orientation, unpaid orientation for a week, usually somewhere around here, where you're unpaid, you have to be there at 8, you have to stay there, stay engaged for the entire time. Then you go through the selection of work sites. Some people get work sites, some people don't. We have what's called a bench, a real bench where, people who have other things going on, or we decide that they may not be ready to go right into the workforce, we put them there. But by and large, you'll be going to work the next week for most of the participants. Now, you may have been doing nothing before this, so you just changed your life. So you have a job now, you have to call Michelle once a day, you have to go to professional development twice a week, you have to do all the things that are required of you to be in the workforce. Then you have a case management session, which you can talk to Michelle for different things that are going on with you. But most importantly, we expect you to be good at all phases of the game. We don't say that professional development is less than what you need to be at work or with the call or with the case management. It's a full-on life-changing experience as we understand it. So these individuals who lasted through this really should be applauded for all of their perseverance. And it's not easy. You know, they have to get up on the days, we all know this, you don't want to get up some days and go to work. They have to be there. We hold them accountable to some of the higher standards. So I just want to make sure that people understand that, once again, and I keep saying this, but while there's 5, there's a reason why they persevered. So now we're going to go to the slideshow. You ready, Alice? This is going to be a little bit of their visual journey through the last 4 months. So that was just a little flavor of what our folks were doing throughout the time. So we started off the first day of orientation with 13 and ended with 11, and we lost just a little bit of the flavor. We lost 1 to full-time employment, which is a good thing in our program. Sometimes we want you to just get out and go if you're ready. One who left a Cambridge shelter to return to Puerto Rico with her young daughter. Another participant quit only 2 weeks ago. So I just want to give you a flavor that we come in orientation, sometimes by lunchtime, there's a couple seats open. I mean, it's just the way the program is. We don't like it, let me be clear, but people just, when they get there, decide that, it's not their time. And we have to respect those decisions. The person who went to Puerto Rico was a family decision made for all the right reasons. Sad to let her go, but that was a decision that had to happen. As I said before, because you're not with us doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It's just that life happens. And while one day we would like to have the same number that we started with to see the success, the reality is it just has yet to happen, and hopefully we think it'll happen, but it may not. Cambridge Works will continue to serve the population the program is designed to serve, residents between 18 and 35 who have struggled to find and keep work. Soon you'll hear the most important part of the day, the stories of 5 individuals who showed resiliency and determination to get here today. Andrew, Shay, Tion, Jamon, and Ariana worked so hard to complete the program. We're happy to be with them today. I want to give them a round of applause before they come up because I think they're a little nervous. They don't need to be. Their speeches are fine. And I just want to say, when you're in Cambridge, Cambridge is a village and we love each other. I said to Tion earlier, as proud as I am of you today, I'm sure your dad, whose birthday is December birthday month, would be more proud than me. But I do think that for all of you, your families are proud of you. This is a struggle, it's a journey, but I think you've survived, and I look forward to what you will become in the future. So we're going to bring up each of the staff who's going to speak about each of the individuals. So the first one to come up, Tion, you come up, you're up. And Tyrone Fells is going to come up to speak about Tion.
Good morning, everyone. Sometimes in life, all anyone needs is a chance, an opportunity, a shot to prove themselves. The question after that is, what will you do with that opportunity once it's given to you? Our first graduate here today has taken full advantage of the opportunity that he has received. During the first week of orientation, getting to know Tion, we could see there was a quiet determination in him. But along with that quiet determination, we could also see that there was a bit of uncertainty written on his face. Uncertainty of the unknown and how it related to him being in the program. That uncertainty on his face turned to being optimistic once we began to talk to Tion about the different opportunities that we had that we thought would be a good match for him for his internship. With all the different possibilities for internships we discussed with Tion, asking him would he be interested in any of them, his response was always the same: I just want to work. It took some time throughout the cycle for Tion to begin to open up and share his story and experiences with the rest of the group. But once he became comfortable, 2 things always remained constant. Whenever we had an activity in professional development class where we asked the group to share their thoughts, Tion would always say the line, "Who wants to go first?" And many times after that, he would volunteer to be the first one to go. We appreciate that. And another constant was, whenever we asked Tion how work was going, he would always smile and say, "It's going good. I like it there." It wasn't always easy for Tion, waking up at 4:30 each morning for a 6:30 start time, volunteering to work on scheduled holidays and during special events when he didn't have to. Sometimes chances are few and far between, but we have to take advantage of them when they come to us. I just want to work. It's with those 5 words that Tion was able to prove himself. Tion?
Congratulations. Give you this after.
Good morning. My name is Tion Feaster. I'm happy to be here today and give this speech. I'm thankful for the opportunity given to me and blessed to be standing here in front of you today. Before Cambridge Works program, my journey wasn't an easy one. I had to deal with a life I never thought I would, nor wish on anyone or your family to go through. I was recently released from prison after 10.5 years for making the wrong choices trying to cheat life. I was 23, a month before my birthday, and came home at age 34. My transition back into society wasn't easy, and I didn't know what opportunities were going to be out here for me. My support team, I thank a lot because they're the reason I'm here. My Uncle Selvin spoke to a couple people and gave me directions to get my life started back into society. I linked with Russell Hardin, a good friend of my father, and he gave me insight about the Cambridge Works program. I filled the application out and brought it to 51 Emmett Street. Weeks later, I got a call that I'd been chosen for an interview by Michelle and was excited for myself. When I went for the interview, I met Allison, Susan, Tyrone, and Mike. There was 5 people, including Michelle. I said to myself, do you really need 5 people for an interview? But it was cool. I handled myself well. I got into the program and started orientation. At first, I was skeptical about the things we were doing because to me, it wasn't my kind of thing. But to this day, those activities made me more prepared to enter the working environment and interact with people. It wasn't easy, but I got it done. I sat with Mike and Tyrone to discuss my interests in jobs. I wanted to do some things more with my hands, example like labor work, and also repairing, fixing things that's needed done. After orientation, I was set up for a meet and greet at the Cambridge Side Mall with Mike. When I got there, I sat with Mike and he gave me details of things they do. I liked what he was saying and I couldn't wait to start my internship with them. My first day at work, I met the guys, Randy, Jamin, and Glenn. They were good people because they made me feel comfortable and guided me on the job so I didn't feel like an outsider. I met Wes and Peter, and knowing what their positions were, I just wanted to prove my stay to the company. Being there with the crew, I picked up new skills. For example, I know how to paint, but the proper way I learned from Glenn. I would listen to Mike because I caught on to his style. He would tell me what certain things were for and how to do things properly. Jamin and Randy always showed me what things was and where, and it was cool. I hated my schedule because Tuesdays and Thursdays I had to leave work early. I felt I was going to miss a learning experience, but it made up in class because I got more training and development skills for my future and got to meet others who benefited from the program and guest speakers who offer help. I plan to keep close contact with all the people I met during my 3 months here. My main goal is to find the right placement for me and maintain my focus so I can grow as a man and provide for my family. I have goals to accomplish and looking forward in doing so. I'm going to continue to take small steps and take it one day at a time. I want to thank my family for their support and those who helped guided me to the right people. I thank all the program staff, Michelle, Mike, Tyrone, Allison, Susan, and Moki. Special thanks to the Cambridge Side Mall staff for giving me the opportunity to learn and pick up some new skills. I hope to stay on at the mall because it's been a great 3 months there and I'm willing to give my all when needed. I will continue to work hard and dedicate myself in finding work if all doesn't work out for me. I wish the best for my classmates and hope you all take this experience and use your resources if needed and don't give up, stay focused. Thank you.
So we're going to take the pictures. We'll take some after. Take them after.
Whatever it is, she's here.
Come on. You go in the middle. Graduation guy in the middle, you know. Hey, good. Good job. We're going to bring Tyrone back up. So introduce Ariana.
I'm sure that most everyone has heard the phrase before, you've got a lot on your plate, meaning that you're dealing with a lot of things in life all at once. Our next graduate, Ariana, has had a lot on her plate, but I'll let her tell her story. In a recent professional development class, we did an activity of choosing 3 words that you would use to best describe yourself. Ariana described herself as being funny, honest, and caring, all of which I can attest are true. But there are a few other words I would use to describe Ariana as well: courageous, dedicated, perseverant, and strong. Ariana is courageous because she never backs down from a challenge and is open to trying new things. She's dedicated because she always puts her family and loved ones first before herself. She's perseverant because she never gives up or gets discouraged when things get tough or difficult in life. And she's strong because she's capable of doing all that I just mentioned without ever complaining. We, as well as Ariana's worksite supervisor, pushed her out of her comfort zone during times, having her practice public speaking, encouraging her to network with fellow employees, as well as having her learn new skills that she may have not done before. I know this program is a little challenging for you, Ariana, but she always put her best foot forward, had a smile on her face, and gave 100% effort each day. Those three things right there are difficult for most people to do each day. You did it and made it look easy. Ariana?
Congratulations. We'll hold this. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Ariana. This is a short story of my life. I'm a single mom with 2 kids, a daughter 11 and a son of 4. I lived in Far River for 7 years because the rent was cheap out there, and I got my apartment and a job. After 6 years, I ended up getting my Section 8 and decided to move to Cambridge and left everything behind. I started working at TJ Maxx, and the kids started going to school. My friend told me about the program, and that's when I met Michelle. I signed up without thinking about it at the community event. I went to the interview and was nervous. I told myself, just try it, what you have to lose. Therefore, I did it. I ended up getting a call a week later from Michelle that I was accepted to the program. I was placed at Cambridge Branch for my internship, working 2 jobs, Cambridge Branch and TJ Maxx. Day and night, 7 days a week, weekends was not easy. I was juggling work, my personal life, and taking care of my brother, surviving cancer 3rd time. This is part of my story. When I started at Cambridge Branch, I went in blind because I did not know anything about administrative work. Once there, I was taught to fax and scan. I was forced to talk to people who worked there, and that was hard for me because I'm very shy. I would cover security desks, which meant I had to log in anyone that was coming in and out the building. We had daily meetings with my team to assign tasks for the day. I was sure to write everything down so that I would not forget. Professional development forced me to speak up, and I tried to wait to go last, always hoping the time would run out. It works a few times. In my case, management meeting was able to deal with real life issue. I always remember what Michelle said, never make a big decision when you're set. It has helped me not to give up when I wanted to a few times. I would like to say thanks to the staff of Cambridge Works for working with me and helping me. It was hard to do this program, but I stayed and did it. I still have more to accomplish, but one step at a time. This is just the beginning for a better future in the long run. If it was not for all of us working together as a team, I would not be here, and my kids would not be proud of me because I accomplished something in life. It means a lot for me that you gave me a chance and pushed me to keep going. You did not give up on me. You share advice with me and encourage me to stay in the program. You lift me up, and I'm thankful for it. I will keep going and reach my goals no matter how long it takes. For the friends I met in my class, keep on going, keep working hard, and don't stop. I wish you the best in life. You got this, and you can do it. Do not let anyone tell you different. Always keep your head up and stay positive. Diane and Lisa, sorry it came to an end. I love working with Cambridge Branch, and thank you for teaching me and being patient. I appreciate everything you have taught me at work. I enjoy every moment we had together at work. I have one last thank you to give, and that's to Orlando. Thank you for always staying positive about me doing this program for the start. You never said anything negative and continued to push me, even when I wanted to quit. I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you.
Hey. Good job. I'm going to take one picture right here. Great job. Take a picture here.
Thank you.
Good job. See, you're not nervous. You're not nervous. We're going to bring Michael up to talk about your mom. Be on your best behavior.
I'm trying, but I don't think I can do it. We talk a little bit about the interviews, and it is true that a candidate will come in and there's 5 or 6 people coming in. When they come in, there's 5 or 6 people there. And I'd like to, it'll all get back to Jamon, but I'd like to talk about my own interview experience 10 years ago. I came in, Sue Walsh, who I knew from my early days working at an agency called Employment Resources in the early 90s, called me in for the interview, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and I said hello, and we walked down the hall, same like you guys, and right before I went in to the interview she said to me, "Wow, you've really lost a lot of hair." And then she gently shoved me into the room, and there was, no lie, 12 people there. And the whole time they asked me questions, I thought, wow, have I really lost a lot of hair? And is that in her personnel file? I want to make sure that's in her personnel file. So that leads me to Jamon. The weekend before orientation was to start, I found myself at Boston Medical Center with a severe infection caused by a tooth that needed to be pulled. I was on an IV drip to get the infection under control so they could pull the tooth. It had been a brutal 2 weeks of pain. At some point while lying in the hospital bed, I received a text from Allen, saying that she had finally reached Jamon Greene, who last thing I remembered before I left work was trying to reach Jamon. Remember I left you a few messages? And then next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. And he had accepted a position in the program and would be at orientation on Tuesday, which was great because I wasn't going to be at orientation Tuesday. And I want to tell you, I was concerned about Jamon, given his age and lack of employment history. And because our program ages out at 35, this was Jamon's last chance to be part of Cambridge Works. So today, I stand before you without my back tooth and without my hair, neither which is ever coming back, but incredibly surprised by Jamon. Over the past 3 months, there have been very few missteps, if any, and I can tell you, Jamon has worked extremely hard in his worksite. In fact, during a few of the worksite visits that I had, Jamon never looked up from his work. And I was sitting facing him with the supervisor as we talked, and he worked the entire time and never even saw that I was there. He has been a pleasure to have in our program, a leader in many ways, and very self-reflective. Jamon never had a complaint about any of the program obligations and was always positive with his fellow participants. We start each cycle with optimism, and there are disappointments along the way, but there are always great success stories. Jamon is a success story, and I am proud of him and what he has accomplished the past 3 months. Jamon is a new man to be sure. Jamon Greene.
You got to stand up. Okay, good. Job. We'll give these sides. Take a picture.
Good morning. My name is, before I started, nervous. My name is Jamon Greene, and before I started Cambridge Work, I was jobless and did not know what I was going to do with myself. As soon as I went to Cambridge City Hall to reapply for the City of Cambridge 9-week program, I saw a flyer with 2 days left to apply for the Cambridge Work program. I saw two numbers on the flyer, which was Michelle Scott and Mike Marullo. I called as soon as I left City Hall and left a message. 5 minutes later, Mike called me back and asked me if I can come to 51 Emmett Street at 12 o'clock. I told him I'll be there. I did go to 51 Emmett Street to find out it was going to be an interview. I was going to be interviewed by 5 people, which was scary. I was not feeling too good about the interview and was getting kind of depressed. I received a phone call from one of my family members that was joining the program and put Michelle Scott on the phone. I guess she remembered my name from the interview the Friday before and asked me if I can come Tuesday to Mass Ave for orientation. Things started to look up for me because I did not think I was going to have the opportunity. I was excited. I was no longer going to be at home wasting time watching TV and wishing that some money would fall in my lap. I am very happy that I am making my own money now. Excuse me. I'm up in the morning to hear the words, "Good morning." instead of good afternoon, meaning that I did not waste most of the day sleeping and doing nothing. After orientation, I was scheduled for a meet and greet at Clover's Food Lab at the main hub on Cambridge Street with the manager, Daniel. We spoke for 5-10 minutes, and before I left, he asked me, when can you start? I replied with a big grin, as soon as possible. So I started working 2 days later. The first day I was excited to work the station CL55, which cuts and shreds all the vegetables in our restaurant. Most of the time, I look forward to getting up to work 10-15 minutes early to find out what type of day I will have. One other thing that I love about working is being able to tell people that I have to work in the morning. That allows me to stay focused and on track. While in Cambridge work, I learned how to be responsible. I had to learn how to communicate. When there was a change in my schedule, I learned how important it was to plan the day around my work. Everything else would have to wait. Something major that I addressed while in the program was to face my outstanding child support. Before the program, I was ducking this task. I got to address building my credit. I started this program with no credit, applied for a credit card, came up with a plan, and look forward to see my credit increase. My main goal for the future is eventually working for myself. I know there's a step to take, getting my high set, taking some culinary classes. I am very interested in a career in cooking, which is why I am learning all that I can at Clover's. I look forward to continue to working. I like the feeling I get from working. I would like to take the time to thank Michelle Scott, case manager, Tyrone Fields, job developer, and Michael Marullo, program coordinator. I can't forget Allison Allen, adult employment director for the Office of Workforce Development, for giving me the opportunity to work at Clover's Food Hub. My family was my motivation to this program, especially my father, Gary Moore, for not giving up on me and letting me know that he had my back and I could complete this program if I wanted to. Last but not least, my two angels, my mother, Darlene Greene, and Erlette Moore. I'm proud to say that I have been hired permanently at Clover's, and I will begin working as a full-time Clover employee starting next week. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Wasn't that bad, right? We're going to bring Michelle Scott up. Thank you.
Shay, where do I begin? I have so enjoyed having you in the program. We ask the participants to call in daily and have a daily check-in with me. This often proves to be a struggle for many participants. This was not the case with Shay. She did not miss one call for the whole entire program. That is pretty impressive. I believe she might have only missed one day of work. From the start, Shay was committed to seeing this opportunity through until the end. Early on, we asked the participants to write in their journals what they wanted the staff to know about them. This is a little bit about what Shay wrote. Even when the days are hard and I might feel overwhelmed, I will never give up. She went on to say, it's important to know that no matter what the mood is, I will always bounce back and continue to be successful. The staff of the program have seen this played out many times. I have had case management meetings with Shay where she's entered in my office and vented very hard and been very mad. But then the next time I saw her, she was smiling at me with that bright smile that she has. One thing that keeps a smile on Shay's face is her daughter. She takes motherhood very seriously, and I believe that her daughter has been the driving force behind Shay's commitment to completing Cambridge Works. Shay is funny, she's wise, she's smart, and I believe that it's important for people to know their name and what their name means. When I looked up Shantae, the name, it states that your name brings love and new starts. I believe that you've had a new start as being part of Cambridge Works. You are bold and independent and inquisitive. You know what you want and why you want it. You want to grow wise and understand people and things. You need privacy to replenish yourself, and you also have a unique way of thinking. All of this, I think, describes you to a T, Shay. It's been a pleasure working with you, and you have made it clear that this isn't the end, that you're going to call me and stop by often, and truth be told, I'm all for it. Come on up, Shay.
Good morning. There was a time in my life that I didn't know where to go or what to do. All I knew was that I needed to give my daughter the best life possible. I am a single mother who knew I needed to figure out my life quickly. One day I was meeting with my landlord and I told her I'm at a dead end looking for a job, mainly because I felt I didn't have much experience. That's when she told me about Cambridge Works, and my first thought was, I'll check it out, but I know I won't get in. I remember when I walked into Cambridge Works and told them I was interested in the program, and they told me they were not sure because the program was going to start next week. Allison asked me if I could come back in a couple of hours, and I said yes. I walked into the interview and saw about 5 people and instantly got nervous and wasn't sure if I can do it, but I handled the interview fine. Once the interview was over, I was told I would receive a call from Michelle telling me if I was accepted. Later that day, I received a call from Michelle telling me I was accepted into the program, and my first thought was, God is always on time. On the first day of orientation, I walked in, and I didn't know anyone, and it seemed like most people already knew each other. As the day went on, I started to see everyone was friendly and helpful, and I felt comfortable. I remember sitting in professional development class and hearing some of the guest speakers talking about pretty much what I'm dealing with, and their stories helped me a lot because they didn't know where they were going with their life, but in the end, it worked out for them. So my thought was, if they can be successful, so can I. When I first started my internship, I was happy because I knew I was going to gain administrative skills that would help me land a job after the program. I was given an opportunity to work at Mount Auburn Hospital for quality and safety for 3 months. I first met my boss, Val. I liked her instantly. She told me that even if she told me how to do the work yesterday, and I don't remember it today, ask her, because she'd rather me ask her than do it wrong. She said she won't get mad if I don't remember, and I remember that put me at ease. I had a coworker, Sonia, who was nice and sometimes gave me pep talks, which really made my experience easy. One day, Val had to step out of the office for a little bit, and before she did, she asked me to do some files. She said, you might not remember it because I only showed you once, and by the time she came back, I was finished, and I did the work correctly, and she was impressed. In professional development class, I could always tell the staff cared about us and wanted us to do good in the future. I remember practicing interviewing with Mike, and sometimes I felt like it was a real interview. I also remember Tyrone's comments in my notebook, and his comments gave me hope. I liked having case management because I had personal conversations with Michelle, and I always left her office with a different mindset. I would like to say thank you to Val, who taught me administrative skills. I enjoyed working with you at Mount Auburn Hospital. I am sad to leave, but I will take what you taught me to future jobs. I am happy to announce that on Tuesday I will be working at MIT to gain more administrative skills over the next few weeks leading into the new year. To all my classmates, I want to say I wish you the best in life and future jobs. Tyrone, Mike, Michelle, and Allison, I want to say thank you for everything. I learned something good from each of you. I don't know what my future holds, but I'll always be grateful I was able to attend Cambridge Works. Thank you.
Good job. Congratulations. I don't think I knew about MIT. Good.
Nice.
Good job. Thank you. Michelle's going to come up, and last but not least, to talk about Andrew.
The staff of Cambridge Works has had many discussions about who is the right person for Cambridge Works. It's a combination of a gut feeling, the person's history and the barriers that they have, and what we as a program have tagged as a spark. To be honest, on paper, it wasn't clear if Andrew was right for the program. While writing this, I went back and read Andrew's answers from his interview. It was interesting to see that the man on paper is different from whom we've gotten to know over the course of the program, and seems totally different from the man that you're about to hear from in a moment. I've truly enjoyed getting to know him. Andrew has always shared something in case management that has intrigued me. I look forward to our case management meetings because it was always a good exchange. Oftentimes, I'm not sure how helpful case management is or the takeaways that the participants get. Most of the time, they don't share the insight with me outside of a couple of mentions in their graduation speeches. There have been a handful of times when over the course of the program's existence, I've heard secondhand about how Cambridge works, how case management has impacted people. In this cycle, we had 2 visits in our office to thank us and speak about the impact and the change that people had noticed in Andrew. Andrew is someone who wears his heart on his sleeve. There are many things that are important to him. Relationships are top of that list. His relationships with his family sustain him, gives him purpose and identity. His social relationships allow him to feel needed and included, and it's a safe place for him to be his whole self. Andrew's work relationships allow him to show his drive and his desires to be successful no matter what obstacles are put in front of him. Andrew took as much of a chance on us as we did with him, and I would call it a success. I've enjoyed watching Andrew grow, learn, and display patience that most people couldn't even imagine. Andrew, as I said to you yesterday, I wish I could hold up a mirror and show you how others see you. Your name is Greek, and it means strong, manly, and courageous, and that captures perfectly who you are. Go forth from here and take on the world. Come on up, Andrew.
Okay. Hello and good morning. My name is Andrew Hippolyte. I'm happy to be here with you today. Before Cambridge Works, I was unemployed for a long time, just working side jobs for neighbors and friends, little things to make money here or there. I, as well as my parents, were very worried about my future prospects. My father was asking anyone he knew about work opportunities. He was talking to one of his colleagues, Karen Praval, and she gave him the idea that I should join the Cambridge Works program. She then gave him the number and email to Michelle Scott. I called and emailed her and let her know that I was interested in the program. A few days later, I got a call for interview. I thought that I'd be interviewing with just Michelle, but to my surprise, 3 other people, Mike, Tyrone, and Allison, interviewed me. The interview felt more like an interrogation with the many personal questions they asked, but I knew it was for the best and I toughed it out. After 2 weeks had passed, I got a call from Allison and was informed that I was accepted into the program. When I got to orientation, I was anxious, nervous, but also optimistic and ready for the new journey I was beginning. Several of people at orientation already knew each other. I didn't know anyone in the room personally, but recognized many faces, being that Cambridge is pretty small. My nervousness deeply decreased after orientation week because of the many people who provide support during the program and the fact that after the program ends, these will be lifelong relationships if you put the work in and are open to learn new things. In addition, there was a clear, concise description of what the program entailed. Alongside a 30-hour work week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, there would be 2-hour professional development classes. These classes covered interview skills, finance, budgeting, resume building, network building, job etiquette, and job ethics. All the things I felt that I can improve on. The structure and stability really put me at ease. The first 3 weeks after orientation, I was just attending professional development classes, waiting for Mike and Tyrone to find the right fit for me. Those weeks were tough because I was so eager to start working and build relationships with people. After those 3 weeks had passed, I was ready to work and would be working at Spalding Hospital in the engineering department. As I walked in the building my first day, I felt an immediate positive energy. The cause of that feeling was watching all these health professionals rehabilitating sick people, paraplegics, quadriplegics, people with all types of ailments, striving to optimize the lives of their patients. For me, it would be a daily reminder to be thankful for having my health and all my faculties intact. When I began working, it was tough early on. There were many disgruntled team members and many changes in personnel, including the retirement of the longtime head of the department. My work variety was minimal. After a couple of weeks of recalibrations and new hires, work began to open up. From building structures for patient rooms, cutting pipes for plumbing, painting, boiler work, learning about heaters, and all the other vital things behind the scenes that help the hospital run efficiently. My experience working with all those tradesmen will be one held dear. I'm grateful they all took me under their wing and were open to teaching me all they knew in the brief time I was there. Overall, my time at Spalding was phenomenal. I'd like to thank my supervisors at Spalding, David Cohen and Ronald Freeman. I would also like to thank Juan Hoya, Debbie Hunter, and the whole Spalding facilities team. In conclusion, I'd like to thank the Cambridge Works staff, Michelle Scott, for always being there for me to lend an ear for whatever issues I had or just talk about life. Her compassion, empathy, and overall joyous energy was crucial to my success. I want to thank Michael Marullo and Tyrone Fells, who were both paramount in prepping me for job interviews, resume building, and the post-internship job search during our professional development classes. I'd also like to thank Allison Allen, who taught me many things about budgeting, finance, time management, and how to overall increase my overall efficiency. To my classmates, I wish you all the best. May all of you do well in your future endeavors. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents for their constant love and support. Thank you.
Take one picture.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
So here, hi, to make some comments from our mayor who has a scheduling conflict is going to be Councilor Alana Mallow.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say I know the mayor really wanted to be here tonight, this morning, but he's very sick, so I get the honor to do it myself and offer these closing remarks. I just wanted to say this is one of my favorite duties as a city councilor, to come here and celebrate the graduates of the Cambridge Works program and hear each one of your stories of your perseverance and what you'd like to do in the future. I know that you don't know any of us, but we are all behind you 100%. So to Ariana, Shay, Tyone, Himon, and Andrew, thank you so much for participating in this program and for bringing your stories here this morning. We are all so proud of you. And I wanted to say to Cambridge Brands, Mount Auburn Hospital, New England Development, Clover Food Labs, and Spalding Hospital, thank you for taking our young folks and bringing them into your companies and in your world and giving them this launching pad for their future. So thanks to all of you. Thank you to all of you for participating in this program, and I wish you the best of luck.
So just before we give one more round of applause for our group, I just want to recognize some of our folks that are working here that came by. Savetto, who's working for the city. We got a young guy back there, all in the program participants who have come back with us. So we just want to make sure we recognize them. So we want to thank you all. As I told you, the best part we save for last. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this journey with the staff and the city. And I'd just like to say that, you know, Cambridge is a special city for many reasons. Nowhere will you see a city invest in people like we do here in the city in Cambridge. So I'm just so grateful to be part of that and grateful to have been part of the success, hopefully in some small way, with our staff of these young, talented individuals. So we just want to give them one more round of applause and congratulations. And we also just want to invite people to join us for some refreshments in the hallway area right there. This concludes our program. Thank you. And we're going to have the participants come up for one more photo with our photographer as well before you go out in the hall and before you greet your family. Thank you.